Hi, this is John Hamilton, CEO of Liberation Programs, and today I'm going to talk to you about creating and maintaining healthy relationships. So to create and maintain a healthy relationship, it has to start with you. You have to create a healthy relationship with yourself first, which is about self-care, taking care of yourself, being forgiving of yourself, being accepting of yourself, being comfortable in your own skin. In fact, the best definition I ever heard of mental health is to feel lovable, capable, and connected. And obviously it starts with your own ability to give and receive love, to feel capable in your life of being able to have some confidence, and also, most importantly, to be connected. Connected to others, connected to something greater than yourself. This is what gives life purpose and gives life meaning. We talk about in addiction treatment and recovery that we always quote Johann Hari, who wrote a book called Chasing the Scream. He was a British journalist that focused on what the key components of addiction and treatment and recovery are all about. And at the end of the day, he said the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. So it's about how to be connected to others. Being connected to others means, as I say, you need to be connected with yourself first. And to be connected means being able to have a lens of not knowing that other person you're trying to connect to without any sense of judgment. We talk about meeting people where they're at. If you meet people where they are, you'll always walk away with new understanding. You'll always walk away with empathy, and sometimes you'll even walk away with compassion and love. If you walk away with judgment, haven't really met that person where they're at yet. And that usually means you have an expectation of where that person should be versus where they are. Another important component is we always talk about how here at Liberation, you have to show people how much you care before you show them how much you know. Otherwise, they don't care how much you know. And it's about being able to see your genuineness and your interest in them. And with interest means reflective listening. If you're really not sure what somebody's saying to you, being able to be a good listener means being able to reflect it back like a mirror to just check in to see if you're on track with that person. It's about being nice and forgiving. It's about showing your humanness. One of the most important ways of being able to put yourself out there is in being authentic, is being able to see that showing your humanness makes you more lovable. Talk about like your most embarrassing moment. I use the example of like in families, parents oftentimes and the family dinner, they'll ask their kid, "Hey, Brad, how'd you do in math today?" "Oh, fine, Dad." Katie, how did you do in your lacrosse practice?" Oh, it was fine. My encouragement for parents to be authentic and real and share their own humanness is to say, "Hey, let me tell you what an ass I made of myself at work today. I was in this meeting, I fell backwards, fell on my back, everybody laughed, it was embarrassing." Now you have Brad and Katie at the table more likely to say, "You think that was embarrassing, Dad? You should have seen what happened to me in the Zoom meeting this week, or in the classroom," or whatever their situation is. They're going to be more willing to share their humanness if you lead by example. Let's dig a little deeper now and talk about intimacy, relationships that are even closer. Intimacy is about sharing experiences. Intimacy is who you share your secrets with. It's sharing with partners and peers. And there's really kind of like a cookbook of 7 different types of intimacy that you can work on, even with friendships, and then sometimes even building romantic relationships. The first intimacy would be recreational intimacy. If you really want to get to know somebody, go for a hike with them. Play tennis with them. Find an activity that you have in common and share that experience. The worst thing that's going to happen is you'll have a good workout and you'll share that experience. Then there's social intimacy. You have certain friends, they have certain friends. Share your friends groups and have them kind of connect each other. Sometimes this is a little harder because maybe your friends knew you at a different time and they haven't evolved, but maybe you've evolved. I think in your world, it's important to have friends who share a history together, friends who share who you are today, and friends who share who you want to be tomorrow. Then there's aesthetic intimacy, which is sharing your favorite Netflix series, sharing your favorite music, sharing your favorite art. It's the appreciation of beauty together, sharing that experience with someone. Then there's intellectual intimacy. Intellectual intimacy is being able to share thoughts and ideas, and it doesn't mean getting along and always agreeing with the person, but it means having a mutual respect for each other's ideas. Now it gets a little bit more intimate. Emotional intimacy. Think in your life. Who are you vulnerable enough to put your guard down and cry in front of and share sadness, share anger, share joy? And they may be different people in your life today. If you had circles that you drew, who you could actually share those feelings with would be a nice exercise to see where are you at with being able to share your emotional intimacy. Spiritual intimacy. For some people, the idea of a higher power or a faith community is something very important to who they are, and having that shared experience with somebody may be a very important consideration. And last but not least, physical intimacy. Physical intimacy is two different types: affection and sexual intimacy. The affection sometimes is even more vulnerable for some people to be able to just be held. And again, a silly kind of way, or one way to look at how you want to develop a sense of intimacy, is that you really want to get the first 6 down right before you even enter into the 7th, to really not have any risk of feeling taken advantage of or taken for granted. So I always say when I do work with couples that the intimacy outside the bedroom is usually directed to the intimacy inside the bedroom and vice versa. So that ability to share of yourself, start small and take positive risks. So again, just to recap, creating a healthy relationship with somebody else starts with taking responsibility for a healthy relationship with yourself. Hope some of this information was helpful today. Have a great day. Thank you.